We put out first trailer. With reactions, everything maybe 1 billion views. A lot of people making fun of it. A lot of people are interested. But when we put out the second trailer, I see this as an EMI. Every month I'm spending X amount. This is money I could take. This is money I could just buy a new car. But I've never cared about those. And I would like my bank balance to be completely dry by the time I'm dead. I don't think I want to have kids. There's no one I'm saving this money up for.
In this conversation, I want to really decode the flywheel that you have built. There's a talent that feeds into YAAS. YAAS serves the brands. The brand pays the money that fuels the labs. Labs creates the tool which in turn makes YAAS profitable.
AV worked because we had this constraint of not having money. If you give me the opportunity at that time to start with 10 times more money, I would still do the exact same thing.
Varun, welcome to Digitech Presents, the creator room.
Thank you.
We spoke 3 years back. Aevy TV was still, of course, it was not a baby. I mean, it had gotten a few steps, but from now where it is and the entire ecosystem that you built. And I remember having the conversation where AI 3 years back, you were, saying that this conversation is going to scare. And I genuinely, when I stepped out of your house, I was like, shit, man, I'm shit scared of what, he said. And here we are living in that world. Your game had just come out. I was talking to Yash Mukherjee a couple of weeks back. We released an episode with him and he spoke that, I'm doing this music for this game and that has come out really well. Congratulations on the trailer.
Thank you.
In this conversation, I want to really decode the flywheel that you have built. You were talking about distribution 3 years back, and I want to actually pick the conversation from there. You spoke of distribution and everything else will build from there. So now the distribution is in Aevy TV and then Varun Mayya's personal channels. Now, what all has enabled, I just want like a quick snapshot of, what all that distribution has enabled, and we'll, go deeper into each of those.
I mean, we own like internally maybe 10 channels. We do 70 channels for customers, maybe more than 70 now. I haven't checked in the last 1 or 2 weeks. We keep closing new customers often. We do something like 1 billion English views a month on our own channels. And for customers now, it's actually exceeded 1 billion. We helped with the, entire Virat Kohli 1-8 launch, which has done very well. So that itself is several billions, if I'm not wrong. So I don't count anymore. But yeah, I mean, distribution wise, I think we have the right audience. We have their interests, we have their eyeballs. But at the same time, all these channels go after different topics. I go after technology. China goes after business and culture. We have a channel called Mr. Nerf, which goes after gaming. We have full disclosure for careers. Yeah. And to think that, last time you saw us, we were in an apartment, right?
Yeah.
It's a bootstrap company. We started with an idea. Most people didn't believe in the idea when we first started. The usual, this is not going to work, etc. But then as luck would have and as time shows you, if you're very persistent about something, I think it ends up working.
So when you look back last three years, and a lot of people have tried to crack content business as a service, as their own IP, you have done both parallelly at the same time. What are a few things that you think that really work for you guys?
Once again, I think it's about the people. I think AEOS has this beautiful effect of like attracting some of the most amazing talent in the country. Like if you look at the business now, we have like 560 people across the entire business. And maybe, 50 of them are from like top, studios from across the world. Like we have somebody right now from Netflix in the team. We have people who are ex-comedians. We have sound designers who, they basically can't work unless you give them a silenced room. Like you have to make a specific room. Like we have a room, which I'll show you on your way out, which is just for people who want to work on sound mixing. So really, somehow I think we've been lucky to attract good talent. People want to work with, channels like Aevy TV. AI enthusiasts want to work with my channel. People who, want to do, like, there's something for everybody at AEOS. And I think, the only thing I should really give credit for is the talent that we've attracted. I think ultimately everything boils down to talent. Like we have good talent, you win.
Yeah. And also you started the school and, started producing the talent. Do you think that, played a huge role in terms of having that talent moat, at least for the service side?
Of course. I think, a lot of people call this our master stroke. For us, it was not like that. For us, I think people think very like fifth order or something like that. Like, oh, this is the grand plan. And sure, we did have like a loose plan, but I would just say that we built the video editing school because we needed video editors. Remember, we started this business pre-AI.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is that has been the thesis, I guess.
Yeah, and when I spoke to you, you spoke of distribution so passionately that, hey, what I really see is like to just focus on building distribution and then everything else can be built. While a lot of people talk about that, you hear that is thrown away as like, the word left, right, and center. Everybody throws like distribution, distribution. But I think what that truly means in action is what you have, done across the, different companies that you have built with that distribution, right? So, how did like the game came into the picture? Of course, this was a dream of yours as a kid too.
Yeah, we really wanted to just make it.
Yeah.
I think we had, like I told you, we had the free cash flow, right? AEOS in 2024 is doing well. We're doing even better. Like we're something like 10 times bigger now. But like back then, I called my brother Rohan. He was working at Y Combinator. Very prestigious thing, like to run a YC company. I was like, let's build a game instead. Let's do something more fun.
Yeah.
And I guess that has been the thesis. I had a good story as well in my head. I wanted to tell a very philosophical story, but I wanted to layer it in, sandwich it in something fun, right? Like Bollywood is a good fun idea. And I was like, to me, the perspective I had is like anime and Bollywood are kind of the same. Like you look at anime characters and how they move around, and Bollywood characters and how they move around. It's kind of the same, except one is animated, so it looks cooler, and there's more cultural. Oh, this is good. So I said, if you sandwich a game in Bollywood or Bollywood in a game, it might do better. But we were still like I was a hardcore gamer, right? Like I have like 12, 13,000 hours on Dota. I played so much of Elden Ring, Sekiro, niche games like this game called Fury, which is like, which I've been playing recently. So I just played so much that I was like, might as well, attempt making a game from India. To be honest, when we started, it was like an experimental thing, right? It's like, let's try this for 3 months. Let's see what happens. We put out first trailer. After the first trailer, we realized the Bollywood idea was a thread we could really push on. And we were doing better as AEOS. So I said, fine, I'll invest more in this. But at the same time, it'll probably be one of the cheapest games ever made, because the main factor here is not AI. It's this technique called photogrammetry. You can go scan buildings. And because we had cameras and stuff, we could go just scan like this entire town of Chanderi. Optimize those assets, put them in.
You took 9 days to scan the whole town.
Yeah, we scanned the entire town. And more importantly, like, you have to understand, I have an audience of like on my own channel, 2 million people, out of which maybe 1.5 million people are engineers. So I was like, what if I could find the top 3 engineers in this audience? So I would say the AEOS Games team is a sign of just pure filtration, right? Like, it's like, imagine filtering first all the audience in India, the engineers who could speak English, who follow me, then filtering that down to like 30 candidates who we want to interview, and then filter that down to 3 people. And those 3 or 4 engineers that we have, the programming side, they're so good, they built game engines in the past. They're really good, right? So became a no-brainer. And I'm a big believer that like half the spend in big companies is like bureaucracy, right? It's like some guy, telling another guy, this is what you're approved to do, and then the other guy asking for approvals. Like, I've seen big companies, and we work with so many big companies. So the advantage the small companies always have is the speed that you can do things with, because the approval chain is so short. And I wanted to spend my own personal time on thinking of these ideas. Like, I've shot a lot of the mocap myself, because I was like, I want this move to be exactly like this hand.
I saw that, yeah.
Exactly
so
like this,
cool,
right?
yeah.
So I'm just having fun. As a side effect, I think a lot of these people have also had fun. The game dev team, we built this. It's been an honor to build with them. And it's just, I would say, in India, we complain, right? Like, our founders, why are they building such, food delivery or whatever? But that's always phase one. Like, the content business is always phase one. The AI business that we have, the labs business, is always phase one. Phase two is doing these harder things, right? Some of them will work, some of them won't work. We understand this very well. I think I can bankroll this for a while, and hopefully it ends up working.
Yeah. And you've been doing this for 2 years now, the game. You've started doing this for 2 years. And where we are recording right now, there are like these motion cams. And this is where you recorded all the actions and everything, right?
Yeah.
On the same spot. And the parallel that I'm seeing between what you were trying to do with Aevy and, in early days when you were trying to mix entertainment with, finance or case studies. Here you say that why can't a game have like Bollywood? It's thinking of like 2 totally different ideas and saying that, okay, let's try and bring them.
I mean, that's the Tanmay Bhat model. The Tanmay Bhat model, and it works extraordinarily well in the real world, which I really want everyone to understand. Tanmay is like the greatest marketing genius of our time, right? Like, and I had the luck of spending a year plus with him.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing I've learned is that if you mash two ideas that don't seem like they go together, they end up working. So Tanmay will get Johnny Sins and Ranveer Singh in the same ad, right? Like it's absurd. It's like Tanmay really pulls out the string of absurd. He's like, what is the most absurd thing about this? Let's put that out, because the world really loves absurd. So like Bollywood in games, it's super absurd.
Yeah.
So I think people in China found it absurd. First one,
Yeah, I think that did like some 500 million or something like that. Right?
No, in China, after the first and second trailer, we got like with reactions, everything maybe 1 billion views. But on the second trailer,
Crazy.
I mean, but still, like in the first trailer, people making, some of them were like excited because a lot of, look, China, Japan, they're a little bit larger than life. And Japan has this entire thing of kawaii. I don't know. Like when I see kawaii, I'm just like, this is cringe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they love it. And there are many, other people across the globe who love it because they're like, this is unique to Japan. And I just feel that when we did the Bollywood thing, we didn't know how much it would strike there, and it struck there. And a lot of people making fun of it. A lot of the people are amused. A lot of people are interested. But when we put out the second trailer, really perceptions changed because people are like, "Oh, wait, this is a serious game."
Yeah.
So remember the first one, we were experimenting. We were like, "What's the direction we should take?" And after the second trailer, I really feel like that changed. And after the third trailer, which we put out recently, I think China is now like, "Oh, this is a serious game," which is also a risk, by the way, because the minute you start making a game which looks very close to the top games out there, you risk this micro comparisons. It's like, oh, this one specific thing is not perfect. And all of these
expectations of the go really high.
Yeah. And all of these things are very fixable, right?
Yeah.
And like we took 6 months between the last trailer and this trailer to get to where we are now. All the fixes that we think that we can make to get us to that last mile are actually 1 or 2 weeks away. It's not even like 6 months away. But actually the challenge is you don't want to end up with a game that is exactly the same as all the other third person VFX spam technically challenging parry. You don't want to end up there, right? Which is a problem because look at the saturation of this genre that we're going after.
Yeah,
it's pretty high. So we will bring back a little more of the Bollywood stuff, right? In fact, people didn't notice, but like the trailer we put out in China was slightly different than the trailer we put out in India.
Okay.
Put a little more of the aura farming in China, right? So I think we'll focus a lot more there. We want to make a unique game. We want to make a fun game, very Bollywood-esque in nature. More Bollywood than mythology. The mythology parts are important. Otherwise, you can't do supernatural. Like, there's no other explanation for anything supernatural. You have a very ordinary game otherwise, right? But I think the Bollywood is the key theme. A little bit over the top. A little bit. The guy's grown up watching movies. So the main character. So you have a little bit of DNA of him trying to do interesting things. But the story behind the scenes is deeply philosophical. Like you enter with all these expectations of it's going to be Bollywood, it's going to be over the top, and we'll satisfy some of that. The underlying story is very philosophical. Like I grew up reading Helmut and Girard, and like I love philosophy. Like I can't like I just love philosophy, right? And I want to tell a deeply philosophical story. It's about people. Right?
Yeah.
It's ultimately a human story about human evolution through arrogance, downfall, wisdom, and then finally strength. You gain strength after you gain wisdom. Right? A lot of people on the internet don't understand this, but like in my own life, right? Like I think we tend to have opinions quickly, but like we don't know why certain decisions are being made, and we think this is the right decision. Like why isn't power coming to me? Yeah. But ultimately, when you actually learn the true state of the world, what people really want, it's a little bit disappointing, but also a little bit enlightening, right? Which is what exactly works.
Yeah.
And I think gaining that wisdom changes you as a person, and then you gain strength. So I think the Unleash the Avatar story is kind of along those lines. And I wrote this maybe like 2.5 years ago. I wrote it much before the game started, and it's still the same story. And I think it's something that nobody will expect because we've tied in ordinary human life, some mythological elements, like you get dragged to hell, and then a little bit of our mythology that's fairly lore accurate. And I wrote it in such a way that I don't get into like trouble, that I don't go to jail, because a lot of these mythology parts in India you have to be really careful about. Like the color of, like it's an additional constraint that developers in India have to think about, which is like the color of the scarf. Sorry, the color of the shawl. Well, we can't do deep orange. But the original idea I had, it would have been deep orange. And like, okay, fine, we have to make it black now. So it's like it's stuff like that that you really have to worry about extra in India. But I think it's okay. I think it's been fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think I only care about one thing, right? Like, and this has been true across the entire business for a very long time. I only care about every 6 months, can we make a 10x improvement, like 5 or 10x improvement every 6 months. So you look at our first trailer, it's like, it's miles away from the current one. Yeah. But actually, it's the little things, right? It's things like, well, really focusing on motion, really focusing on, well, what does combat feel like, really focusing on where the camera is. It's like, it's the little things, it's improving the combat system. So I just really think that um, 2 years have been just this, take every piece, get really good at it. There's still some things that I feel like we're a little behind in. Like VFX is something, like game VFX is something we only started picking up about a year ago. The first trailer has zero VFX, just basic stuff, right? But we've gotten good in the last 1 year, and I still feel there's a lot more to go. Whereas with animations, like actual physical body animations, we've gotten really good. Basically, because now we know how to use mocap well. We've gotten good with creating characters, right? Sujay is ex Ghost of Tsushima. He's contributed to the game, so he knows how to make characters like really good. So yeah, I guess it's mostly now a process of like continuing to get better at every 3 months, every 6 months, putting it around the world. One thing we do, which the audience, I don't even feel they care about this or they think about this, which may be our mistake. So we put out 3, 4, 10, 12. Like our last trailer was 12 minutes of uncut gameplay. This one was 3 minutes of uncut. The first 3 minutes were 3 minutes of uncut gameplay. I just want them to see it as it is raw. The mistakes, the good part is, sure, there'll be some critics who are like unnecessarily critical. And they're mostly doing something called in-group outgroup, which is that, oh, I don't feel like these guys are part of my community, my group. So I will say bad things about them. Oh, these people are my group, I'll say good things about them. Again, I'd urge you guys to read some philosophy, but there are also a group of people who will give us very specific directed feedback, which is like, hey, the dodge when there's an aftermiss that doesn't dissipate as quickly. And those are like, you can go work on it the next day, right? So we collect what we call actionable feedback. We ignore all the noise and we say, this is what we can improve. This is what we can improve. And I think the best game, my opinion, I think the best games will be built out of India. I'll tell you why. We have so many critics. We have so much user feedback that ultimately you end up making something that a lot of people will agree that is good, right? Like, it's like, if you just go step by step, look through all the feedback. I mean, there's feedback you can't change. Like, some people will be like, why are you making a game on this theme? Make it on some other. That we can't do, right? Like, this is the decision. I'm sure somebody else will make that game, but like, we've gone down. Maybe the next game we might get him, but yeah, whatever. This game we've gone down this route. So if somebody has like very directed feedback, and there are lots of people with directed feedback, right? Like, of course, you have to also learn to like pick it out, right? Like, some people will be like, opponents, when you hit an opponent, there's not enough hit feedback. But actually, if you open any Souls-like game, like you go open like any Elden Ring fight, you'll see that the enemy hit feedback during attacks, when the enemy is attacking, is always very muted. It's always something called physical animation. There's a little bit of jiggle because you can't interrupt an enemy during an attack, right? Whereas a hack and slash will allow you to do that. So sometimes there's that conflation. So you have to really put it through a filter of what we can actually work on. Yeah, you spoke of people really finding what they're really good at and working and doubling down on that. And I've heard this, that you locked yourself doing your brutal SWOT analysis. What was the weakness that came out that you looked at and you were like, dude, I didn't think of it? Yeah. So my last business didn't do very well, right? Although we had everything, I thought we had everything nailed. I thought we have distribution that we're thinking of. I mean, we had some distribution. We had a great product. We built a SaaS product. Like, we have a great product. We have, good ideas on some of the features we built. Our competitors were copying us. It was good, but we still failed. And I went to lock myself in a room and I was like, I need to write down why I've not managed to build something big. And I put strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Strengths, I put a lot of. I was like, a product guy, understands this, understands that. But when I came to weaknesses and threats, I think I really doubled down on the fact that I still didn't understand distribution as well, right? I thought I understood it, and this is before I met Tanmay. Thought I understood it, but I didn't really. I thought I understood markets well, and I didn't really. Because when you dig down into some of these markets, you find hidden profit pools that nobody even believes in. And sometimes you think you'll go after a market and turns out it's super saturated. So I didn't understand markets well. I wasn't doing enough homework to really deeply understand the market.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I wrote a very brutal cut down of myself. And also, like, I think in some cases, I wasn't like, at least with my teams, I wasn't like setting expectations correctly. Like, I feel like today when I work with the team, I'm always like, I always predict a chance of failure. I was like, look, you're going to work with me, but the chance of success is 35%. It's a random number, but it's how I'm feeling. But earlier, I would be like, my job is to show 100% confidence because I know this is hard and I'm 100% sure it's going to work. But today, I don't do that. Even with my game team, for example. Like, guys, the chance of success is just this much. Okay. And that's improved over time. But I'm straightforward and I tell them this is the chance of success. People betting their careers on this. They want to hear, oh, this is 100% going to work. But still, I'm straightforward with it. And I think this is good because like all the people who are in the middle of the fence leave when you give a chance of success less than 70, 80%. Right. So you only are stuck with the people who really believe.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important, especially when you do hard stuff like this, right? Like you need true believers. You can't convince somebody on the fence to like stay with you because that person is never going to give it that 100%. So you're always going to lose in the long run. And I really urge everybody to go do this for yourselves. Like, why haven't you made whatever money you want to make, right? Like, why haven't you made it yet? And I'm telling you, there are kids, 22, 23 who've made this money, like people who are 40 who've made this money. And it's not even about money, right? Whatever your goals are, like, you want to be the best chef. Why haven't you made it yet? Go down, sit inside a door, like sit inside a room, lock the door, and write down why you haven't got there yet. You'll get to the truth. Uncomfortable. It has to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people are often confused, right? Like with our success, for example, the last few years, why are these guys successful?
Yeah.
And they always come up with like stupid theories. I just feel like just go sit and, close the door and ask yourself, why is AEOS successful? Like, what has AEOS done that is led to success? And it comes to very simple things. Mostly hire good talent, get enough distribution so that talent joins you, get enough distribution so companies work with you.
Distribution.
Yeah, it's mostly distribution. It's also a lot like this games thing and all. We don't mind being ridiculed. When we did AI avatars, we got super ridiculed in the early days, right? And then YouTube had to recognize us in 2024, saying largest AI avatar in the world. And then people are like, oh, it works, right? And now people are like, how do you do it? Right? Even though the secret is out there, it's not a secret. The game also, like, I just feel like we are in the middle of that phase where in the first trailer we got some ridicule, but that's changing now, right? Like it's slowly changing.
The latest one, it sits inside.
Yeah, but still there'll still be a few people who are like, oh, this is not perfect, that's not perfect, and whatnot, right? Like, but I think a lot of them need to go and reflect as to why it's getting international traction. Why do people like it when I dislike it? And you'll eventually get, at the truth, which is that all people in the world are different. There is an audience for everything.
So, what are a few things about distribution that you really, picked up when you started interacting with Tanmay and you started doing content yourself, right? Like, what are a few things when you, what you really understood about distribution that a lot of people still fail to understand?
I think it's very nuanced. I think people think it's just like put videos and like things work. I don't think it's that. I think every field that you're going into in terms of distribution, right? Let's say you're targeting business, they have a different need. Whether you're targeting content, they have a different need. Like, let's say you're talking about AI, they have a different need. Let's say you're talking about technology, they have a different need. Let's say you're talking about gaming, they have a different need. And you cannot go with a one size fits all approach. What the tech guys would really like, gamers might not like, right? What the gamers like, the tech guys might be like, what the hell is going on? So I just feel that every audience is different, which is why we have multiple channels. We don't like, it's very hard for one person to do two channels because those audiences would never like gel with each other, right? Like, increasingly I'm finding me doing tech and gaming is not both those audiences are so different. They want different things. So it's challenging, but at the same time, I just think that you need to be willing to drill down what do people really want and then do something different, right? Do something that is differentiated, which is if everyone's doing something, change the format, change something, right? But because if you try to do the same thing another person is doing but better, it never works, right? So I think you have to change some variable and go. And I do, from a content creator perspective, I've always really cared about trust, right? Like the reason I would say that we are one of the most trusted content enterprises in the country, like of the people that matter, I think has purely been because we've never let down anybody's trust. There's never been any scam, never been any like, oh, we'll try to make quick money out of this. Never been any of that. These are all from my lessons, right? Like, I've run business for 10 years. I'm like, I've seen people do some of this stuff and like, lose their way and derail. So I think we want to be the most trusted source. And to do that, some of your content, while you can be sensational, it's like over time we've just toned it down because we're like, look, we want to be the most authentic, sources for this. So let's like do it the right way.
Yeah. You yourself have said 2026 is going to be a hard year. In terms of content industry.
Every year is going to be the hardest year.
Yeah, from now on. Yeah. At least in the content. So do you think that content still is going to be, the entry way for the businesses, or if content
Yes, but
stops being, then what else?
I mean, yes, I think content is still the most important thing. It's harder this year because of competition, right? Like more people are trying, and it's like sometimes I'll meet people at an event and they'll be like, I started creating content because of you. There's a few 100,000 people who are starting every year because of other creators, right? Maybe millions of people who are starting because of other creators. Like they want a little bit of that success. So I just think that the more competition something has, the harder it is to get through. And this is not like the IITs. You don't just like mark the answers better than everybody else. You don't just like squeeze in 2 extra points, 3 extra points, right? You're trying to do something fundamentally different, which requires you to be creative. When we did AI avatars, literally nobody on the field was doing AI avatars for content. No, zero, globally. So you have to do something different. When AV started putting skits and information together, nobody in the world had done that. SNL was doing skits, infotainment channels were doing infotainment. No one's mixing the two. So the minute you start doing stuff like that, you will get breakthrough now. But it's hard to think different ideas because we grow up in an environment where you realize that everything you can think of is an amalgamation of the things that have come in your head before. You can mix it in new ways. But ultimately, there are no such thing as brand new ideas. There's no, like, you can't even think of a brand new idea, right? Like, all the AI that we see now is like, these are sci-fi fantasies of people, from 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
Correct.
So it's like, I just feel that because there are no new ideas, everything is amalgamation of everything else, you need to be really good at like consuming various sources of information. Like, people think that we have combined in the game Bollywood and like Souls likes, but actually the third thing we're combining, which people haven't seen at all, which is proper Girardian philosophy.
Really?
Right? Like there's proper, like the story has proper philosophical undertone, right? Of like it's beneath, like no one's seen it because we haven't spoken about the story yet. But like I'm combining philosophy that which very, like things that I've read when I was younger, which I'm just amalgamating into a story now. Which you have to then make it easy for people to also consume, right? Because Girardian philosophy is heavy. I made a video on it. It's called Why People Unfairly Scapegoat Others. And I would recommend everyone to watch it, right? Like, the in-group, out-group system is like, in our brains is very powerful. The mimetic desire in our brains, like, why do you want the things? Why do you want a Ferrari? Because the people you admire have Ferraris. And ultimately, the people you admire become the problem because they have the Ferrari and wrong, right? So, I want to bring that to this as well. So I think it's all about remixing crazy ideas, and the best of us like remix really well. Tanmay is like the best, most creative because he remixes the most. So I think with the content piece, you really have to remix some crazy ideas. And I think when it comes to remixing, because the world can be combinations of n number of things, I think the opportunities are endless. Just as the competition is endless, the opportunity for you to find a specific niche is endless. But some of them won't work. So it's also trial and error of which of these will end up working.
The people who watches us on, the creator room are the creators, and we try to cater to not the ones who are charting 0 to 1, but the people who have already done that journey of being a creator with some distribution, some following, and looking at doing that 1 to 10 journey. And if you were to now today, you guys also do with mentor creators, or at least make them be creator and be on their own. If you are mentoring a creator today who's done like 0 to 1, let's say 100K, 50K, or 200K, whatever numbers, but really doesn't understand in terms of business. And I also meet a lot of creators, the only way they think that they can make money is by through brand deals and ad revenue and whatnot, right? And still they really don't think about what this distribution can do. If you were training any of these or like mentoring, how would you tell them like, hey, you know what, if this is the niche, you can take example of any niche and say that if this is the niche, then this is how you can really chart out the journey. If you think,
I think creating content, and we've spoken about formats and like how you can do something innovative. But I think it's never about you. I think it's never about the content. Like I never thought कि मैं कितना बड़ा बनूंगा. Like we didn't think about that in the early days, right? And especially between 100K and 1 million, if you start thinking like that, you will burn out. Because 100K to 1 million is a very long stretch. My opinion is you really need to think about how much value you're adding to the end user. Like one of the earliest things I did, which is still the most valuable thing I did, is something called the Avalon Discord. I don't know if you remember it, but we had this Discord group where like it was a bunch of cool kids just hanging out. Some would be designers, some would be artists, some would be coders. And we just got them together, like we'll just have fun. Right. There was on Discord, like the Discord number going up is irrelevant to your content creator business or whatever you call it, right? Yeah. But I just did it because I thought it was a fun thing to do. I thought it was good to engage the audience. I just believe that you really think through the audience and what's in it for them. It's never about you. Like I feel like you have to give something so value packed to the end user that they watch this and they're like, oh, I learned something from this. I found this valuable. Like I did a reel with the NVIDIA team where the NVIDIA team had come to our office and they were explaining the NVIDIA Spark. It's so useful for people watching because they're like, oh, this is how a very, very large company, one of the largest companies by market cap in India, in the globe, would sell their Indian product, would sell their global product in India. You're seeing behind the scenes of it, how they're thinking about it with me. I didn't have to show that. I could have just made a reel saying this is the Spark, this is how much you buy it. But I got those people involved because I was like, it'll be nice for the audience to watch this. They'll understand, they'll learn something. Right. And I feel like even my life that I'm living, right, all the mistakes that I'm making, the game and, all the progress that I'm making, it's a great learning lesson for people watching. They're seeing me play this out one by one, right? It's happening live. People are seeing it live. People are seeing the growth live, which I think is awesome.
YAAS, the way YAAS, worked, and you've said that it's getting the software level, profit margins. And I was talking about the flywheel at the beginning, right? Like there's a talent that feeds into YAAS. YAAS serves the brands, and then, the brand pays the money that fuels the labs, and labs creates the tool, which in turn, makes YAAS profitable. So can you just like break this down in action? Like just give me like...
So AV produces 400 to 500 video editors a year. We train 400, 500 video editors a year, out of which only 100 will sit for placements. 100 to 150 will sit for placements.
Okay.
We give them the option either to work at YAAS or like any other company. We have a huge recruiter network, thousands of employers who hire from us now. So let's say maybe 100 people will come to YAAS, right? And then separately, YAAS will also hire 100 people from outside because now it's like the requirements are crazy. At the same time, we have enterprises reaching out to us, and we have tons of enterprises who will be like, can you do some content for us? Now, some of these enterprises want us to use AI. They're like, hey, I just want an AI presenter, this, that. And some enterprise like Coca-Cola, for example, will be like, no, I want you to go out and do a real shoot. For Coca-Cola, we do 30 real shoots a month. Okay. Right? Like we go do this thing called, we allow anyone to direct an ad for the new energy drink called Charged. So stuff like this that it really depends on the brand, right? And we have no say in this. So some brands are AI friendly, some brands are like, no, go do a real shoot. So depending on that, the team requirements change, right? If it's a real shoot, it's like I need 10 people in the team, right? I need a DOP. I need someone, the DOP is the guy who has a camera. I need somebody who's able to do sound mixing. I need somebody who's able to do just, editing, 3-4 people editing the video, some short form, some long form. So we put that team together. Yeah. Some of it will be from AV, some of it will be from outside. The writers, it's very case by case. If I'm doing like, we did this channel for a medical company where you need to now hire a doctor to write, right? Because when you have the money and these companies are paying you well, you don't want to like skimp on it, right? Like you want to get like, if you're writing, like if someone's writing content, let a doctor write it, right? Like a professional writer, not just a blogger write it. So we started like really thinking about this. We'll get subject matter expert, and it's like, trust me, YAAS is the most executional, like it's a nightmare business to run because it's like putting this team together of like 8 people who are totally different from each other, writer, this, that, whatever, making them start working from the next week. And of course, there's notice periods involved in all this. Some people have 1 month notice period, some people have 2-month notice period. So we have like a reserve team that's there just, to fill in the time for the notice period. It's like the way this business has been built, I don't think it's possible to replicate it. It's very difficult to replicate because it's that hard, right? And some of the things we do, it's like very tough. Anyway, you put the team together, they do a good job for the client. And we have internal YouTube playbooks on how we do things. And we have some people whose job is to only sit, watch YouTube and figure out which videos are doing well, and then go to the teams and then say, maybe we should do things like this, or this is the format we go with. So we have something called a pilots team. They do the first video for a brand. They are like YouTube, cracked YouTube analytics guys and also good editors. So they'll be
So
like,
when they're pitching to brands, they're pitching with pilots, is it?
we don't pitch with pilots. We close the brand. We don't have time to do pilots now. We close the brand, and in the first video, the idea that we pitch, we'll be like, this is the video. So the pilots team creates that.
Got it.
And the pilots team passes it off to the rest of the teams, and then they like the pilots team passes it off to the new pod that's being built. So this is very hard. This sounds easy.
So for every brand, then there's like a separate pod, like separate team that's
separate
working
teams. We don't share. Like there's never been an editor who's worked on two brands at the same time. Never. Right. So yeah, that's why we have.
So that's a very good structure that the pilot team actually is setting the entire framework of what this is going to look like, and it's essentially like a creative team.
Yeah.
And the pod.
I mean, all teams are creative.
Of course, they're all creative. Every
the pilots team has the most experience with different IPs and different formats, right? And the pilots team, like, to get into the pilots team, you need to have like a crazy amount of experience. Like it's like we spend top dollar there, right? Like getting the best people. We have analytics guys. Yeah, and then we, of course,
and it goes to the execution team.
Yeah,
who are going to then
the pod team.
Yeah.
So let's say there's a pod built for a specific IP for Coca-Cola. They do the end-to-end stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, per month we hire like just YAAS will hire like 80 people. Right? Every month we're hiring 80 new people. Right? We're close to 600 employees now. I've lost track, but like because by the time I say it, like 10 new people would have joined, right? And maybe it'd be like next 3 months will be 18 to whatever that number is, right? So just as a business, there's also then secondary things, right? Space requirements. We have 50,000 square foot of office space. We're getting some more. So this, you have to plan it ahead, which is how much more office space do you need for the next, 80 people coming in, right? That's why sometimes when I see people on the internet, they're like, oh, this is just an AI business. There's no people here. Just like, dude, like, come run YAAS. Like, it's like we have worked with so many creatives. Yeah. It's a nightmare business to run. But still somehow we manage, right? And like, we have a 90+% success rate, which is very rare in the content industry for branded content, right? And then of course, once the brand,
how do you measure success for brands?
I mean, depends on some KPI view counts that they'll have. All brands have KPIs. So we hit that, almost always we hit their KPIs. We don't boost any of the posts. Still does well. We know what works, right? Like like I told you, if you have to give YAAS credit for something and us as AEOS credit for something, we just understand what works, right? So sometimes when people ask, why are you making this decision? It's like, we just have so much data on what we think will work that it's likely that, but still we have a 10% failure rate, right? There's still some things that don't work, right? So we can give you the best shots of success. Then of course, recently we also had an influencer marketing unit because we believe that brands that trust us eventually they say, hey, I might as well move my influencer marketing budget here. So a lot of the creators in India, I would have made hundreds of creators money in India because of the rerouting that's happening there, right? Because the brand was anyway going to spend, and I'm like, I would rather spend on creators who I enjoy watching and I like, and who I think general audience, will end up liking. So that's called Prime Select. That's news run by Shreyansh. Then of course we have labs. Labs is the AI unit. It's actually our smallest unit. Our AI lab is like 20 people, right? And their job is to just improve efficiency
across the teams,
right? So without labs, we'd be a small margin business. With labs, we're a larger margin business. For example, labs built we have our own GitHub for video. Okay. So we can see diffs between videos. So this video 1 and video 2, let's say I make a video and then I make some changes in the video. I can put that second video up, and then the person watching can just, person reviewing can just be like, I just want to see the difference, right? And all this on-prem. So we set this up on-prem. I know some other video companies. Dude, the video space is pretty cool. Like all the companies, even though we're competitors, we still buy from each other. We still work with each other. I have made other influencer marketing companies more money than my own. It's just how the video, it's super collaborative, right? Like other industries are very competitive, but like the video industry is like very chill because there's enough money flowing around. Right? Like no one's like really optimizing for the next dollar. They're just optimizing, how do I build this good business over time? And we see this space the same way as, the old school software space, right? Like there'll be 10 big players and no one cares that TCS's market cap is X and Infosys market. No one cares, right? So while there is competition, there's still like we freely buy from each other. So as I was saying, right, like
GitHub.
Yeah. So we have video vault that sort of handles all our videos. Like almost 2,000 videos of ours go through Video Vault. Similarly,
What does
labs
that do?
Video Vault is the diffing for video, which is we want to see the difference between two videos. We want to store them
Your own
locally.
videos.
Yeah, our own video. Like let's say
Difference
an editor is making a video and
Okay.
could change chahiye, and he makes some changes. So to see the difference, like let's say a client only wants to see the changes, they don't want to see the entire video. You can do that on a Video Vault, and all these videos get stored in here itself in our hardware. We do 2,000 videos, so it's like each video now is like hundreds of GBs. So there's just the video bandwidth that we have at our office is probably one of the largest in the country, right? Maybe second to like some.
So
of
what's
the
the infra would look like?
It's crazy. I don't know if you've seen it, but like we have an entire room for it.
Okay.
Again, everything has been built bootstrap, right? So over time, we had one box, now we have two boxes, then we have three boxes, four boxes.
It's like, what do you call that system? It's NAS or what?
Yeah, it's a NAS, but
Okay.
it's built like our Video Vault sits on top of the NAS. So we engineered our own solution to sit on top of the NAS.
Okay, so that's what labs did.
That's what labs did. In fact, from Video Vault, I can tell how much time an editor is spending editing a video, how much time they're spending rendering. I can see all of it. Because Premiere Pro and After Effects both have signatures of when they're using a file from the NAS. If you're editing straight from the NAS, I can tell what you're doing with the file roughly from the signature. So I can tell if you're like editing it. I can tell if you're rendering, right? So I can tell these things, and it's a best guess again. But like we get good data on what roughly your teams are doing as well. So it's a good tool to find out how much efficiency you have as a company. Then there is Labs also does stuff with the AI avatars. We have our own thumbnail tool. So yeah, Labs is a cool company. I really like Labs. It's one of the first companies we started here. We wanted to run experiments with AI in the content space.
Yeah. When we spoke 3 years back, like it was all about like build distribution, and then there will be a time when you can start, squeezing stuff out of distribution. For any brand or any creator looking at building distribution now, do you still think like we have 3-4 years of just like building distribution first, and then we'll figure out?
Yeah.
Do you think we still have like that time?
Yeah, easy. Look, this is media has been going on since maybe for at least 200,000 years since humans existed. First is a guy at a campfire saying, "मैं आज आपको एक story बताऊं," and everyone's listening. Correct. Then it became printing press came out. People were getting like print. Before that, it was people sitting in a pulpit, saying something. Now it's just social media. This is never going to end, right? And the content cycles out heroes every 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 years. 4 years later, some other guy will become successful. Next 4 years, some other guy will become successful. So on and so forth. So I'm not too concerned about key space, but I think breaking out is harder now, for sure, right? Like compared to like 5 years ago. I remember 10 years ago, if you had made a video on YouTube India, you would have got views. Today, if you make a new video on YouTube India, it's tough. But at the same time, the platforms really reward good content, right? And knowing how people think is the most critical thing. Because if you know how people think, then you'll make something that satisfies a niche that you don't believe exists yet. Some of it is harder, some of it is easier. But ultimately, like, that's why I said, right? Like, you have to be the kind of person who can be creative enough to keep trying new things, right? Like, the reason my content works so well is because I'm an experimenter by heart, right? I will go experiment, whether it's latest AI model, whether it's something else. I will experiment. And my job is to experiment and bring it out to the world. So I just think that makes for good content. People like watching. People like, what is the new interesting thing that Varun's up to? Similarly, in your own field, like a travel blogger is kind of doing the same thing. They're going to new places, kind of like they're experimenting with new food, new environments, and they're vlogging that, right? They're putting that content out on the internet. So I think fundamentally it's about by heart being an explorer, whether you're exploring on a computer or exploring the real world, whatever it is, and putting that content out to the world. So I feel there's enough and more opportunity to like for new spaces and new subfields and amalgamations of 2-3 fields, which, I just feel like it's still in the early days, honestly.
Got it.
It's competitive, but it's still early days.
One of the things that, you guys do when it comes to brands, I have been like, I'm not fully convinced, in the fact that, for example, let's say for Clear Trip, you do this channel called Clearly Tripping.
Yeah.
Where there is no mention of, Clear Trip. And then, of course, the same thing with Zoho. I think it's Builder Central. These channels. So how do you really, measure the success for brands? I've always been in the split of the mind because I I'm more of a believer of like what Wind does, right? Like whatever, sorry, not Wind, but Grow does.
Yeah.
Whatever the channel they would do XYZ by Grow.
Yeah.
Where like upfront I know that this is the brand and
Yeah, like it's always about like every fourth video, every fifth video, there will be a mention to ClearTrip.
Okay.
On the ClearTrip thing. Same with Zoho, right? Like every fourth or fifth video will have a mention to Zoho. You don't spam it in every video.
But why not on the channel itself, like Builder Central by Joe?
I don't think people care about it. Like honestly, how many times have you gone to someone's profile and really looked? Most people don't do that. They watch a video. See, the platforms are such that you're scrolling. So you're not going to a profile. It's very rare that you go to a profile, right? You're scrolling and then in this content, if you find it useful, you hit follow right there, right? So I think that the goal is to provide value to the end user, something new that they haven't seen before, something interesting, something valuable. And our job is to dig out the most valuable stuff on the internet and bring it, surface it. And then when somebody watches it, they hit follow. And then when they hit follow, maybe in every fourth or fifth video after that, you talk about Zoho once in a while, right? Or you talk about ClearTrip once in a while. All the channels do that. It's very useful for them because for them it's either this or put up a billboard, right? And I would say today people are looking more down at their phones than at billboards, of course, right? And billboards are super expensive now. In fact, put a billboard up in like any mainstream city and get 1/10 of views we'll get you on a channel on the every fourth branded post will cost you more than the cost of the entire like yearly listing of whatever service you provide. Billboards are super expensive in metros. I'm getting a better footfall, more distributed footfall across the country, and I'm building them an IP that they own. Whereas with billboard, you don't really own it, right? Like they're putting it up for a few days.
So whatever you create for the brand, even if they don't want to work with you guys, then they can keep it and run it on their own or whatever.
See, most brands don't leave us mainly because it's just hectic to do what we do. So they just prefer to outsource it to us.
Yeah. So what do you think about like if you look at Win 12, for example, what they're doing on YouTube? I think that's one of really successful in terms of like content IP what they've done, and I think Crow is the brand that I really look up to when it comes. So they have cracked the content game before anyone invested in content. Like they were the ones who were like left, right, and center putting money on on YouTube. If you how do you look at like what they are doing? Like I said, like if I were to look at like what Builder Central and let's say like Legends by Grow, one of the channels where they get like market legends and do the conversations and stuff like that. When you look at it, like, and also they don't sell Grow on any of their content, right? They don't say anything about like go and open an account on Grow or whatsoever. And the same thing on Builder Central is where like you would not promote Zoho. But at least I'm getting to see Grow there. I'm just trying to understand from the brand's POV, like what is it that they're buying?
Yeah, different brands want different things. Like with Zerodha, for example, we contribute to a channel called Markets by Zerodha. There, the videos go out in the morning. We have editors who sit in the night. Okay. So it's an overnight thing that they sit. In the morning, the videos will go out. Open. And that channel has like 10, 11 minutes retention time per video. Which is crazy, right? Like to have a person give 10 minutes of undivided attention in the morning to something. It's crazy. So that's very direct. It's Markets by Zerodha. Correct. Some brands want to be more subtle. So it really depends on what the brand wants. We give brands all options. Sometimes we just manage their main account, right? And we're just like, well, we'll straight up post from the main account that you own. Some like Vodafone will be like, no, we want movies, like a specific movies surrogate channel. So we build that for them. So it really depends on what they want. And we are at this point pretty flexible. Some work better than the other. And ultimately, I think the goal is to make sure that you build trust. Google has this rule. It's called the 4-7-11 rule. In order for someone to purchase something from you, they need to have seen you in 4 different platforms, 7 different touch points, 11 hours of total content. Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's basically what it says is like, you haven't bought a Dyson vacuum because you saw an ad. You didn't buy an iPhone because you saw an ad. You saw some of their billboards, you saw some ads, you saw this, you saw that. But because of the price of the product, you've taken some time and you finally made that decision after looking at
so many things. And still being convinced at each point.
So ultimately, this is a multi-pronged above awareness campaign where you're saying that I'll run some ads, I'll do this, I'll do some other things, I'll do some influence marketing, and then eventually somebody will buy from me later. I'll tell you one thing. India as a country has been very allergic to sales. This is a mistake. And especially like I see this more and more in kids, right? Like 18, 19, they're like sales is bad, content is bad, build innovative things. Think about where you got the money to pay for your internet subscription. Your father's making that money or your mother's making the money. They are in what business? Some business. Let's say they're in banking. Someone in that banking business is selling. for which the revenue of which is eventually coming to your father, who is now paying for your stuff. Sales drives the world.
Yeah.
Sales and marketing drives the world. There's a reason Facebook and Google, we see them as research companies now, but they're advertising companies. There's a reason they're so large, because advertising marketing earns people their bread at the end of the day. No one cares if you make like the best, mic. If you're not, or whatever this is,
That's light.
the best light. But if no one hears about it,
Yeah.
if it's not being sponsored on your channel,
Yeah.
who's going to listen to this? Who's going to buy this? Who's going to trust this?
Yeah.
And there'll be 100 people working in this company. They need to feed their kids and families. Someone like you who's helping them sell this product is helping those families feed themselves. And India runs on this. Literally, like, sales is like the backbone of this country, right? Like, through and through. And I can't believe like young people demonize it. I'm so upset at that. Like, I'm just like, this is a failure of education for you to over optimize on building new things and not on, core what runs the economy. So we should focus on that. It's not mutually exclusive. It's not that you don't do the innovative stuff. You do some of the innovative stuff. But first you make sure that enough people have jobs and enough people are able to put food on the table. And that comes via sales.
And however, we've seen like brands really being open to invest in YouTube, which was not the case even 3 years back or 2 years back. Like we've seen in the last 1.5 years, we also have a lot of conversations with brands, and they are now finally opening to the fact that hey, we want to do YouTube now, and how are you seeing that change?
Well, brands really want to do YouTube, Instagram. YAAS has something like 1,000 customers in waiting. 1,000 customers in waiting. That's not a small number. So I can see it's going to be a very large business, right? Operationalizing the business is harder. Just because they want to do YouTube, I have to put an 8-man team. I have to there's so much work that I have to do to even get a channel live. And so it's like satisfaction of the demand is taking much more time than the demand, but the demand is there. It's always been there. Like, you go meet these brands even 5 years ago, they're like, yeah, we want to do YouTube, but we haven't seen successes. The reason people come to us because we've got a lot of people success on YouTube, right? Mainly, again, going back to because we know what people want, right? So ultimately, there's a huge market just for surveys.
Surveys?
Yeah, like just knowing what people want. There's a huge market for that as well. So I just think that there's lots of things in knowing how businesses work behind the scenes, which hopefully by the end of my lifetime, I want to teach for free. Right? I do this series on YouTube called Katas, where there's so much I've learned in the last 2 years, and I'm eager to share it all. I just don't get as much time, but I want to share as much as possible about what I know about the world. And I feel like what I know about the world is a very different viewpoint than a lot of people sitting on the internet. Like, I just feel like they have the wrong idea of how the world works. The same ideas that I had when I was 22, 23. So I don't blame them. Right? It's like exposure. It's like, I feel like I can really dilute what's happening with the biggest businesses in India. I know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. I'm helping most of them. I have to be very careful, right? Because the minefield of NDAs that I have with so many brands, like, what can I give that's still valuable to the person watching that they can do better in their lives? Because I'll tell you what, going back to that question of, how should you create a content? I only care about value for my audience. I don't care about anything else. So if something can give value to my audience, I will find a way to share that information with you. Right? Like, for example, like the amount of money that, let's say, a big brand like a beverage brand like Coca-Cola or something would spend just on knowing what people want, it's crazy. It's so important to them. Right? It's worth millions of dollars to them. But people don't understand that. They think, oh, I already know what people want. But actually knowing what people want at scale in India and a country as diverse as India is very tough. Yeah. How do you know what somebody in a tier 3 city wants? Have you spent time there? So it's stuff like this. I just feel there's a lot of opportunity, and content is one of those opportunities where almost every brand at this point wants it. The supply is lagging, not the demand. And that's why our video editor school right now, I would say that we're stressed in the sense, like, companies are coming to us trying to hire talent. We just don't have enough. Because only, like I told you, not everyone sits for placements. Right? So it's just it's a struggle between trying to produce enough people to satisfy that demand. But when I go out in the world and say there's so much demand for video editing, the average person will be like, no. It's my engineering degree nahi hai. So it's and they're unemployed. Some of those people saying that are not doing anything. Like, this is a much better alternative. But I also understand India is so socially driven that we'll only start doing things once other people start making videos about it. If 10 people make a video saying 40 LPA editing job, everyone will do it. I hate that, but it's the world we live in. Yeah.
I still have to convince brands that YouTube is the thing.
Not at all. They come in pre-convinced through the door. No one doubts that YouTube is the thing, right? Because they see it in the video, they see it in the comments. The only alternative is ads. You are scrolling past ads. The average 20-year-old is scrolling past ads.
Right.
So, yeah.
And you don't even remember the ads that you watched by the evening.
Yeah.
What were ads?
And how much TV are you watching?
Yeah. Zero. I don't remember the last time I watched.
I watched FIFA last few days.
Yeah.
But like when the ads come, I don't pay attention.
I'm on my phone.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you pull the phone.
So you'd rather like go directly to the phone?
Yeah. So now when it comes to like your personal content, right? Like you built a massive distribution, and I think just tell us like what part of it is. Of course, there's like a big team of humans involved.
Yeah.
So, but what part of that is completely AI? What part is
the
like
presenter is AI in short form content.
Yeah.
But to be very honest with you,
the long form is
yeah, I shoot it myself.
okay. You shoot it.
There's one video we did long time ago, which is the AI generated video.
Okay.
But like mostly it's me.
Okay.
Right? I do full long form lectures.
Yeah, the katas, I think, I mean, I've seen
very human. Yeah. So it's like, I'm telling you, we see AI as just another format, just another technology. It's not like end all be all. It's good, it's useful. And
so can you walk through the process?
Yeah, on short form, it's very easy. We have a team that would go through.
It starts by sending voice note.
It's on WhatsApp. It's all on WhatsApp.
Okay.
I send them a voice note. I'm like, we should cover this. Is interesting. Here's my viewpoint on it. And I give my viewpoint.
Yeah.
And then they look through it, and then they're like, okay, fine. The AI presenter does the first, 2-3 seconds, and we have a rule: we don't show the face for more than 2 to 3 seconds. And then it's all like,
so who scripts it?
I script it. So I will send a voice note, and then I have a Claude, this thing that just formats it better, right? So that
it's a Claude project. It's a Claude skill.
Yeah, it's a Claude project. It's an entire project, right? Okay. So it will just like rewrite it to feel.
Okay, so what all does that project have?
So it has maybe like 200 pages of my content.
Oh, really?
So it writes, it kind of just...
It's the scripts.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a formatting tool. Claude can't think like you.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a formatting tool, right? Like, so...
That will format like the 200 other scripts that you've given it.
Correct. So I'm just like saying whatever comes to my mind, and then it's formatting it into a meaningful sequence, right? In the way I would write things, using the words that I would write. Like I use the word wild a lot. So my AI bot would use the word wild a lot.
Yeah.
And then it goes, there's an AI avatar created, both the audio and the video is 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Actually, 2 is the maximum we allow now.
So I think you built internal tool for that, or is that HeyGen? Or
we use HeyGen now, but we also have another WAN 2.1 fine tune that we made ourselves. We built the model ourselves. We fine tune the model ourselves rather. But honestly, it's very dependent on, really the video, because there's some instances where it doesn't do very well. So sometimes when it's like very urgent, it's like when we don't have time for regenerations, we just use HeyGen. It's better.
HeyGen, right? The audio comes from 11 Labs.
Audio is 11 Labs. Audio is all 11 Labs.
And also 11 Labs, you have like trained it.
Yeah, we have trained it. Every 2 months, whenever I get some words wrong, I go retop up the words.
Okay.
We put it at the bottom of the training stack, and then we retrain the entire model.
Got it.
So yeah, we do it. We do it every like 2 months, 3 months, the top up process. And then the rest is like manual video editing. Right?
Editing
humans, there's humans that edit the video across. I'll tell you where AI is really useful. AI is very useful when you want to double click on the actual data. Let's say there's some claim on the internet, X is good or X has 10,000 sales. AI is very good for finding you antagonist viewpoints. We always like, whenever I talk to AI, I'm like, I'm thinking this way. Can you show me the opposite way? We use it as most of
challenging your ideas.
Yeah, most of the smartest people in the country are using AI to challenge their ideas. Yeah. It's like, I think I believe in this. Can you show me the opposite viewpoint?
Yeah.
And it's always very enlightening when you see the opposite viewpoint, right? Because we are very convinced that your viewpoint is the correct viewpoint. But AI is happy to show you the other viewpoint with data. So then you realize, okay, fine, which data is stronger? You take that call at the end of the day, right? Like that's your judgment and decision making of what's correct.
Yeah.
And of course, for facts as well, right? Like if I get a fact wrong at this point at my scale, I will get crucified. So AI is useful for making sure that I don't get my facts wrong. Then we put out the video. We edit it. The editing process is like, we have 17 people in the team, editors in the team. Maybe
for your personal content?
Yeah. Maybe 6 people are short form editors.
Okay.
So the 6 short form editors will take that video, they'll slice it 10 seconds across each. And then, we put out the video. It takes a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And if we really want to speed run it, we can do it in 20 minutes.
So where do you compress the time if you want to do it in 20 minutes?
I mean, they can do it in 20 minutes.
Okay.
But sometimes it takes
for the short form.
Yeah, sometimes if it's not like it's an evergreen piece of content and there's no rush,
it's not a news piece, then
we let them take time. Like for example, I did a video on hiring the other day about how some Google interviewers, when they had to look at their own CVs in the future, they were not happy that they rejected themselves. That's an evergreen piece of content. Even if I put it out tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't have to be urgent. But if like Apple launches something new or Cloud launches something new, I need to go live like right now.
Correct.
Right. So yeah, we try to keep it 25 minutes, but we're very chill. Like I would say Team VM is like, sometimes you have to work Saturday night if some crazy news breaks. But generally the work timings are very flexible. Yeah, long form, we don't use much AI. Unless it's a specifically done AI video, right? Like I'm trying to tell a story and I need AI.
Yeah, we saw that.
The monkey video, the chimpanzee video.
Yeah. So people were talking about $8,500 that you put into it.
Yeah. That's the problem with it. You know, the problem I have with India is like everything becomes about money.
Yeah.
No one cares about like
how much effort and the output and,
I've spent much more than the $85,000 on talent for the 1 month just keeping the team alive, but no one like counts that, right? They're like $8,500. But I just, we want to make good stuff. We want to experiment. We want to show people the boundary. We like showing people the boundary.
But that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And when new model comes out, we'll do newer stuff. Like it's all about trying to push that wherever the frontier is, keep pushing it. That's the goal.
Yeah. For video editors who's, who comes and asks you that, Varun, where can I use AI? Let's say for the long form. Let's say for somebody who's editing this podcast, this is that, hey, can I use AI?
I think it's good so that you don't get copy strike. 9 or 10 times you get copy strike when you use AI. Not when you didn't use AI, like you use AI and I footage that come to you, they eat your head. So it's like today we want to generate something that's sensitive. We use AI because we don't know whose footage we might use that might get into trouble, right? We're not small creators anymore. So AI is very useful with that. If you want to show generic, some office B-roll or something like that, we use AI there. But it's mostly there. Like I think we use a lot of AI B-roll, which is useful for editors. I think AI is also really good for concept, right? Like you want to think of an idea, you generate a video, then you're like, maybe this is the concept I want to go towards. And then you do it manually because you have, see, when you do things manually, you have control. When you do AI, you get more, you have exploratory ideas. You can explore any direction you want and come back. So I think that's that.
And as we're planning, like before the video editors take the whole, let's say 1 hour long podcast.
See, I'll tell you one thing. If it's something like a podcast, there's almost zero AI use. We use something called Autopod to figure out who's speaking at what time, clip it. Podcasts are the easiest thing for us to edit. And we are editing at this point, like kind of short movies, like when I do content, right? Like when I'm serious about like doing a produced video.
Yeah.
So we have differentiations between produced videos and podcasts and katas and all, which are minimally edited. So podcast katas and all, we can edit in like...
It's content heavy. The conversation of the content itself is driving.
Yeah, it's driving. Like you can't put too much B-roll on this.
Correct.
Right? Maybe the short form of this will have B-roll, but you can't put too much B-roll on this because it'll distract from the point. So we see all these buckets as different. Like we have a very nuanced viewpoint. Like AV sometimes will not use AI at all. They'll go to really shoot some video. My team will say, okay, fine, this part we use AI. Let's say full disclosure, this place, they made a set out of it. Like if you walk into this place, you see that we have multiple sets.
Yeah. I mean, this is a set. This wall is a set.
That's a
right
set.
in front of us.
That's for Thumbs Up.
Yeah.
Funny Biryani Club.
For Thumbs Up, we'll actually, we'll take a, maybe put it there, and there's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we have sets as well. So it's like, it's really this choice of what the video needs, right? And really depends on the audience. There's some audiences who like use a little bit of AI, they'll get upset. So there we're very good. We won't use AI. Like that's the cool part about what we do at AEOS. Like if we need to construct like that would have cost like 10-15 lakhs.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course.
The set?
Yeah, the set. Oh, you're constructing it. No, you're getting a carpenter to do it custom for you. The lights are custom.
Yeah.
So we spend, dude. Like we can, like if we need to do something authentically, we can do it.
Correct.
If we need to, and some brands are like very like, they're like, no, you can't use any AI in this. So like, fine, we'll do it manually. So we're used to, the company can switch both modes, AI and non-AI. And there's some companies that are very chill with AI use. They're the easier companies. We build them lesser also because of course there's cost savings. So we pass on those cost savings. So we're okay with both, honestly. Yeah, my content is about, like, I started creating content around technology and AI. So it makes no sense for me to not use AI on my content. But there are businesses we run where we're okay not using AI.
Yeah. One of the things that I've seen that is, across the leaders and how you build the team, right? I don't know that you've openly, spoken about it, but I really want to understand, like when you started Aevy TV, you got Papa Focus, join in, and then now what it has become. And then I remember like Martin was there last time he was shooting, the podcast that we did together. And then, right now, like with YAAS, you have Rohit and Lovina running it. And uh, so how do you like really, when you're building into new business with the people who were there from, beginning, like how do you really structure this from the business POV?
Look, I've told you before as well, right? Like, I think outlier talent really wants to work with me because I give them the best shot, right? I make sure that on the business side, it's sorted. They'll never have to worry about things like money. The best talent comes to me, right? Like, that's been proven across time and they stay with me. Like, Focus is still with us. It's been like 4 years. Same with Martin, he's been with us. So our best talent has never left. Good talent never leaves. Yes, there's a saying, right? Like at least at the leadership level. So I would say my job is to find outlier talent and help unlock them. Whatever they need, right? Like they need to connect to someone else to do some podcast and make that happen. I play make with them to make sure that they get what they need. So like if you are outlier talent, working with me means that I'll break down all the walls in your way so you get you and the goal are like in straight line. You still have to run. You still have to reach the goal yourself. But I make the 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 path from you to the goal easier. Right. So that's why they stay with me. Um Commercial also we're very like wealth sharing. We don't like again, this is not the goal. There's no point of hoarding all this money. You're gonna die anyway. I don't think I'm gonna have kids. So like
Sorry, what did you say?
I don't think I'm gonna have kids.
Oh, you don't know.
So I don't know if I'm gonna like there's no one I'm saving this money up for, right? And I would like my bank balance to be completely dry by the time I'm dead. Just enough for like my family and whatnot. But like I don't care about the rest. So people like that because they know we are default wealth sharing at the leadership level. And getting to the leadership level is hard. But like we really need to trust you to get to the leadership level. Like it's not like you join tomorrow and then tomorrow we're like, hey, yeah, we'll share our. It's never like that. It's like also prove to us why we should bet on you, right? But if you've been with us, especially from the early days, those things were hard. We're very open like that. And like all of these, everything that we have been through, in all the teams that I've been through, have always had challenges. It's never been easy. It's too easy to quit, right? Like, and these guys, like they huddle together. All these guys are forged in fire. That's what I like saying, right? Because Aevy TV, the odds of it working when we started was zero. Why would somebody watch kids?
It's not easy to work with you.
It's pretty easy to work with me. I think it's pretty easy to work with me. I mean, I work hard and I'm always there. So like they like working hard with me. And I'm also selecting for outlier talent. So they enjoy working with me because they know it's crazy ideas that will actually come true. Right. So I'm not the Elon Musk, like, it's tough to work with me type. I think it's pretty easy to work with me. Yes, of course, sometimes you have to work Saturdays and all that. But the talent I'm trying to hire, at least the leadership level, they don't really look at Saturday.
Clocks any which ways,
yeah, they're not looking at a Saturday.
If you're looking at the clocks, then you wouldn't be in the leadership.
Yeah, of course. Right. The leadership is here, like we are giving our lives to this so that it helps us do better at our own lives, right? Like for example, this office, all the leadership benefit from having a cool office. We have a nice little lounge where you can order any food that you want. They all benefit from it. We have like racing rigs in that lounge. So it's like they all benefit from this, right? So they see that and therefore they're like, I'm giving up Saturdays, but I'm doing it with cool people. To us at the leadership level, it feels like a bunch of friends working together to make something happen. It doesn't feel like any different than that. So I truly believe that really good, exceptional talent loves working with us. This has been proven time and again. Focus and Martin have had hundreds of opportunities to work outside. Million people have tried to poach them because they're as good at what they do. Our game dev team, so many people have tried to poach. No one's left. At least the good leadership, no one's left. If you look at, 100x or even YAAS, leadership talent, they've been with us for quite some time. So I think ultimately people optimize for the people they work with. Ultimately, people don't quit bad companies, they quit bad bosses. And as long as we're nice to work with and we're easy to work with, and they know that we're going after the right goals and they somehow are able to share in the coattails of that, then why not?
For creators building teams, what would be your few pieces of advice?
One thing I don't like about creators when they manage their teams is they see their teams as like different from them. They don't care about the success of their teams. They're like, I have 5 people, I have 10 people. And sometimes it happens inside AEOS as well, at the lower levels, right? Because we have so many new channels coming up. It's like, oh, I want to make this much money. I want to do this well, but my team, yeah, it's like if tomorrow this guy leaves, I'll hire someone else. We don't think like that, right? And I think it's important if you're a creator not to treat your team like some hired resource that you can just make fungible. Nobody likes that. Imagine the power table, right? Like if you're working for someone and that person treats you like a replaceable resource, you're always going to be working from a place of fear. Are you going to make good content when you're in a place of fear? Content, anything we do at AEOS, actually, all the creative stuff we do at AEOS, you cannot work from a place of fear. It's like no one does that. Like you can write code from a place of fear. You can do so many other tasks, administrative tasks from a place of fear. You can teach from a place of fear. You cannot create content from a place of fear. It will make your worst content. Right? Like you need your space and freedom. You need to be feeling creative. So it's about if they even feel slightly trapped, it's over. They will actually, most creatives, if they feel even slightly trapped, it happens here as well. Some of the mid levels of YAAS, they'll leave. They'll just be like, I feel trapped. My boss is not giving me this.
So that's the first one. What else? For the
I think it's mostly
creators.
I think it's mostly that. Like, it's that. Don't treat your talent like they're fungible. And secondly, like, share wealth. Like, if you're doing better, pay your teams better. I think. See,
so structurally, like for example, Ankur does like profit sharing.
No, I don't think that's a good model. Because you're actually putting too much of the risk of how you do on your team as well, right? Like, I think the way I think about this is like, if you're a small, that's why I don't believe there's any standard salary for an editor. Like, I don't believe an editor's salary is like 30K or 40K. There's no standard. That's fake. It really depends on how big the creator you're working with. Like some of the editors in my team make, a couple of lakhs a month, right? And that's completely okay. But if there's a new creator in AEOS, maybe he might be paying his team less, like 40K, 30, 40K. That's also okay. If that creator grows, and the creator is massive and the editor is being paid less, that's a problem. Right? So it's about relative this thing, right? So you'll always make more money working with a bigger creator. That's obvious. You'll always make less money if you're working with an experimental team. Right? If a team is not making profit, if a creator is not making profit, or some unit is not making profit, you'll get paid the lowest salaries there. This is the fairest trade, right? But the understanding that if you're working on an experimental team, if it grows, you make better salaries. You become one of the early trusted people. That's the trade-off that happens in our company. It should happen in every company. So I don't like when, someone joins a very small creator and then says, oh, mera salary itna chota hai. Like I'm saying outside, right? Like someone join a small creator and then be like, oh, he's only paying me this much. My friend editor is making this much. Well, who's your friend? Which creator is your friend editor working for? If it's a big creator, of course, he's going to make more.
Yeah.
And you can always optimize to work with a big creator. But there you'll always, in seniority wise, you'll always be number 10 or number 20.
Correct.
But the small creator, if it works, you can be seniority number 1. But then is the creator's responsibility to create enough trust such that if I'm with you and I'm helping you grow, you don't leave me later when you grow.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm telling you, humans are so emotionally bonded. And I've seen this so many times across AEOS, right? Like we have a channel called Mr. Nerf, where he has an editor. And as Mr. Nerf grows, he's helping the editor as well. He's like, Matt, I'll make your life better. And he paid his security deposit for his house. Because he's just like, that's the level of bonding. We're not a VC funded company. We can do all these things. Right. So that's I think the cool part.
So you're saying that like how Ankur does, or I think this Tanmay also said the same thing, right? Like where they do the profit sharing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of profit sharing. I think you dump too much risk on your teams when you profit share. And what happens is you get away with paying lower salaries. And if you have a bad month, see, I'll tell you the problem with profit sharing, right? Like, especially with editors. Like, I don't mind profit sharing at like leadership levels, but I'll tell you the problem with editors. Let's say you have a month, you make 10 lakhs as a creator. And you're saying, I'll do 10% profit share. So now your editor gets 1 lakh extra. Great. Okay. So good for the editor. Let's say the base is 30K and they made 1 lakh more, 1 lakh 30. You have made 90 lakhs. Cool. Now, next month, let's say you make 0 as a brand on brand deals, because that can happen, right? You can make 1 crore a month or 10 lakhs a month. Next month, you might make 0. Let's say the second month you make 0. Your editor is getting 0 bonus, but you have still made 90 lakhs the previous month. You see the trade-off. So profit sharing is not good when the business is like this. It's good if the business is like this, right? Because what happens is on the good months, only on the good months you're sharing. On the bad months, nothing. The editor's getting nothing, but you're getting all the rewards from the good months. Now, I think averaged out, it still kind of makes sense. But I'm not a big fan, because I also do believe that if you're a big creator and you're continuing to grow, you need to reinvest back in your business. And the minute you start doing profit sharing in the early days, you can't build better sets. You can't get better lights. You can't get better cameras. And eventually, to do all of those things, the editor has to take a hit. For you to invest back in your business to grow, in your creative business to grow, the editor takes the hit. Right. So I feel like editors' flat salary should increase. Okay. You're doing better, pay them better. Right. Increase their base salary to 50K, 60K, 1 lakh, whatever it is. And of course, if you're not doing well, then it makes sense to keep it at that rate. And I think that's why appraisal cycles should, at least if you're working with a creator, should really be dependent on how fast the creator grows. If the creator is not growing very fast, I don't think you as an editor will also get much if you ask for an appraisal. But if the creator has gone from 100K to a million, absolutely you'll do well.
Yeah.
I don't know a single creator at scale right now who's not paying their top 5 guys very well. The best jobs you could have right now with the top 10, 20 creators. Everyone from Samarena to like anyone, you take any top creators doing well. The top 5 guys are doing very well.
Yeah.
Best place to be.
Yeah. Super. This has been a great conversation. So I have I'll do a quick rapid fire with you.
Sure.
So best AI model for the scripts right now, not the.
I don't think you should be writing scripts with AI, but if I had to choose Claude.
One tool you pay for that you will drop the moment open source catch up.
Audio models.
Okay.
They're almost there.
Hardest category to crack for a brand channel on YouTube right now?
Banking.
Thank you.
Boring content.
Need to bring some Bollywood in there.
Yeah,
which you can't.
I mean, they're also regulated, no?
Regulated,
yeah. It's annoying.
One YAAS client result you are most proud of?
I'm proud of all the YAAS results. All of them. But if I had to pick, like all the stuff we've done for Zerodha, I think that's pretty cool.
Zerodha. What all you have done for Zerodha?
So many things.
That's like...
I have no idea. Like so many things.
Yeah.
Like we have maybe 40 people in the company, 40, 50 people in the company who work exclusively on Zerodha projects. So at this point, I don't know because new stuff keeps getting added every day.
The AI prediction you made publicly that you'd quietly take back today.
I think I've been right about most things AI, but if I had to pick, I would say I underestimated how quickly people will get bored of AI content. Like I didn't think of AI, if you make a whole video with AI, I didn't think about that as a new content format that people get saturated of. But it's exactly the same as any other content format. If the first few guys doing it, you'll do well. But if like people see enough of it, they understand the stain. Ultimately, in their brain, they're like, "This is AI. I'll move on to the next thing."
Got it. One thing that 100K follower version of Varun knew that 1 million version maybe I've forgotten.
That the road in front is hard. Like I still had at 100K, I still had a lot of underconfidence about where this could go.
Okay.
Today, I don't worry so much. I'm diversified.
Where do you think this is gonna go?
See, I built a system now. It doesn't need me anymore. Except for the new projects like Unleash the Avatar and so on. My job is to take them to a point where they don't need me anymore.
Yeah.
This could either go really well or really badly. So if things keep going as it is, we'll be a very large company, like very, very large company. Top 100 companies types, if this keeps going. If things change and it's hard, maybe like platforms itself change. I don't know. So many things can go wrong. If any of those things go wrong, then maybe we go down to zero and I try again. But here's the thing, I'm a persistent guy. I'll try again. I'll find something else and I'll try again.
Yeah, I think that's something if anybody's watching it and they want to take back one thing, then like persistent guy.
Yeah. In Unleash the Avatar, we have this move. There's a kip up. Like the enemy kicks Vikram down, he gets up, kicks him down again, he gets up again. It's kind of to be symbolic. I shot the mocap for that.
Okay.
I can do a kip up. Like I used to do it since I was very young. I tried a little bit of karate gymnastics when I was young. So I can do the kip up pretty well. So I did both the moves, both the kip ups, back to back. And then they just clean it up a little bit. So it's symbolic, right? Which is that kick us down how many times you want. You'll just get back up. That's the AEOS way, which is that failure is irrelevant to us. And I'm sure there'll be things we do that will not work out.
And a lot of people don't know that AEOS is Attention Economy Operating System.
Honestly, that's a new tagline for us. But
that's not what you started with. Oh, you've come up with this one after you kept the name of the company. Oh, I thought that just the way you have YAAS.
This is how companies work. This is how all the best stories in the world work. A lot of them are hindsight bias repair.
Super. Thank you, Varun. This has been a great conversation. So before we let you go, for all the creators who's watching, you said that, there's somebody, told you that I became creator watching you. You have inspired a lot of people to become creator. And for any creator who's watching this, you've made all the games, all the videos, everything that you wanted to do, all the messages, all the katas and whatnot, right? You've done all of it. And then for whatever reason, if this is the last video ever that you were to record and leave the message to, the people who became creator or wanted to become creators.
I'll tell you one thing, okay? Whenever you do something, anything, there will be people who doubt you. There will be your friends, your family, people outside who would say this is not going to work, right? That you should just give up and you should do the ordinary thing. And, there's so many people who will do that. It's like a very Indian thing to do, which is to pull you down. I think all you have to know in the depth of your heart, whatever you're trying, whether you're trying to be a creator, whether you're trying to start a business, whatever it is that's different from everybody else, because society punishes the different. Society rewards and punishes the different. The more different you are, the more you will get punished by people because they don't understand you. But at the same time, the more likely that thing is to break through because it is fundamentally different. Know that there is one supporter you have sitting on this chair right now. Right? If you are doing the different, the crazy, the thing that people think you're, stupid for even attempting, I'm with you. And honestly, I don't think you need any more. Right? We may never talk. I may never, ever spend time with you because I don't know who you are, and maybe we don't get the opportunity in life to meet. But I'm with you. And just like me, there are enough and more people who have tried, who've, passed through all of that and somehow, got somewhere, and they're all with you, right? There is a community of people now who have been through, hellfire and brimstone to get to where they're at. Some of these guys have like been through worse than what we have. And it's very hard. Like, no, there's no entrepreneurial story that's easy. Yeah. There's never a entrepreneurial story, especially if someone's done it for more than 3-4 years. There'll be it's 100 things. Like, there's 1,000 things I can tell you where we almost died. Right? I remember bootstrap company. So every month it's like you're playing a roulette, will you die or not? But like these people have been through this, and that community, I think, is the most, like, it's the community you most want to be part of. Because that's, if you're truly a builder, that is the place that you want to be, because no matter what your ideas are, we'll support you. Right? Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Super. So we have put together a bit of your collection of some of the stuff that you built.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. Journey of a polymath. Do you like calling yourself polymath though?
I really
don't like.
I have. Well, this is pretty cool. So it says best-selling author, Jobspire, AEOS, building since 16, some AI stuff, all the Sundar Pichai, Sam Altman, some stuff about AEOS, and then unleash the other. This is very cool.
So what did you learn from these guys? Like, you interviewed all of them. What is the one or a couple of, common threads that...
They're human beings. They're all just normal human beings who just gave it their best shot.
Yeah.
And they reached where they are. There's a lot of luck also helping them in all the situations.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? Luck meets you halfway. Once you start trying, someone or the other comes and helps you out.
Yeah.
So I think, they're just normal human beings, just like me, right? But at the same time, they are freaks of persistence, right? Like, their brains are like, a Sundar will push harder than ever. Sam will push harder than ever. Yeah, like, have you met Satya? He's like a big bubble of energy. Just a bubble of energy. He just runs around. He's energetic. He's doing like 20 things in a single day.
Yeah.
Never tires. Never gives up.
So is there anything that stuck, when you met any of these guys? Like one thing...
I mean, when I met Sundar, I think I changed my leadership style, because after I met Sundar, someone from his comms team said Sundar is the lowest ego person in the room. He'll always, like, if Sundar needs to play the second fiddle to make 3 slightly egoistic people make something happen, he'll do it. So I became like that. Like, when I was younger, I used to play like carry roles in games. Now I play a support role, because I'm like, I understand that, there are these egos, and if I can support these people do what they want to do, we'll eventually end up winning. I don't need the glory of, having done the specific thing that ends at victory.
Super. So from our friends at Digitech, we have, a few hampers that we want to present to you.
Awesome.
So this is 100-watt light, which is pretty cool. And this is very compact. And
awesome.
I'm going to offer this to you. So here you go.
Thank you so much. Very cool, guys. I'm going to leave this to Kishan. Kishan will, solve this.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. And we also have some of their...
Very cool.
Yeah.
Oops.
So we'll have some.
Wow. Nice.
So useful.
Very cool. I'm going to leave this also for Kishan.
Super. Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
And
thank
I
you.
had
really appreciate it.